Hello and welcome guys to a new episode of Mario's channel. Today we are going to polish and hopefully clean this pair of British Clark's leather shoes. They are very modern. I love leather shoes, and the only thing that keeps me from buying them is that the soles are usually very tough. So these ones have these plastic soles, and this is wax that you're looking at here. And the reason why I've got wax on my shoes is because I work in histology, and for those who do work in histology, they probably know what this is all about. Wax is used extensively in this type of work in histology. It's called paraffin wax, and we use it for embedding of human tissue, believe it or not. So this is a technique that I've learned through the years. Involves an iron and a paper towel, and what it does is you heat the paper towel using the iron, and it absorbs all the molten wax. Now here I was trying to get it to work, but I had it on a low setting and it was taking a long time. So I've decided to skip the towel and try and make it using just the hot iron. And I still use the tissue to wipe afterwards, just to get rid of all this molten wax so it doesn't concentrate back and precipitate back on the shoe itself. So as I was saying, I really love classical Oxfords or any other British leather shoe, but the only thing I find problematic is that sole that is made of wood sometimes, and it's quite tough. So this is a very nice modern take on these shoes, and they have this plastic foam-like sole which are very comfortable to wear, especially if you're working for 9 hours shift. So I really bought them, and I've never felt more comfortable in any shoes. Now here I've got some formula. It's a type of caustic soda that is used to clean and remove any stains. And I'm adding a bit of soap water, a bit of soap and warm water, and I'm gonna dip the shoelaces in them, hopefully getting rid of any debris or any dirt that is stuck on them. A few minutes later, and this is what the foam looks like. So I've decided to use it to wash all this dirt from the shoe itself. But I was trying to avoid the leather because I don't know what this caustic soda or bleach might do to it. Obviously it's not going to be very good, so I was trying to avoid it and only clean the bottom, and after that I wipe it immediately with a towel. Then I've continued to do so, and then I moved to the sole itself, cleaning it all the way from the bottom and the sides, and I spread things up a little bit so that you don't get bored. I was working my way around the sole, as I mentioned, this plastic foam type sole, which is very comfortable, and I do recommend people to try it. If you're a classical leather shoe collector or you like the leather shoes, you should give this a try because it is a very nice modern take. And we have to move on with times. As much as I like the classics, sometimes the new things come in and they make things much better. This is my watch, and it's a Citizen NY0040. I've made a video on it. If you really like that type of watch, you can watch it in my YouTube channel. It's an automatic watch, very nice, and I like the bright lume. Now I've used a toothpick here that I usually use for my fishing gear and sometimes to remove dirt and so on from shoes. And I've used it here to remove any pebbles or little stones or grit that might be stuck at the back of the shoe. One of these shoes, one of these stones pinged, this one. I have no idea where it went, but I could hear it falling somewhere. I tried to look for it, but it was gone, probably to be found 2-3 years later. Now I've put a bit of padding in there because I've got some back problems, but you don't really need to. It's quite comfortable, as I mentioned. For those wondering what type of brush I use for my polishing, I've got two. One of them is quite firm and the other one is quite soft. So there's a brittle one and a soft one. I use the brittle one or the hard one just to remove any debris before I start polishing. So this is not my polishing brush. This is just one that I use to remove any dirt from the shoe. It's not very good for polishing because it has to be very soft to brush. And this is one cheap that I bought from a shop. I think it's called the Kiwi brush. It's about 2-3 British pounds. Now the other one, on the other hand, it's a Caps original hairbrush that is made from horses, and it cost me about 16 British pounds. And it's, I think, from Germany. And you will see it now in action. I'm just giving it a wipe, making sure the shoe is clean, and now I'm getting it ready so I can apply my shoe polish or the shoe wax, or as some people like to call it, wax. Now here is the type of shoe polish that I went with. This is called the Leto shoe wax, and I like to go with one shade brighter than the one I have, and I wanted to give it a bit of a brown sheen to it. So I went with this light brown golden shoe wax, even though I think I should have gone for the black one. But the results are pretty much the same. And you'll notice here that I'm actually pushing a bit more and harder than I should. But I did this on purpose because I was trying to get rid of the wax that was already there. But normally I wouldn't be putting so much pressure while applying the wax, or the wax as we said. Once I cover the shoe with a thin layer of wax, I put a bit of water and I dab it, dab, and then I get my hairbrush that is made from horse tail, I believe, and I gently brush it away. Shoe polishing is not something that you want to do in about 5-10 minutes when you are in a hurry. You have to really take your time. The overall time it took me to polish this shoe was about 40 minutes. And I wasn't done, but my arm was killing me, so I had to stop. But this process took me nearly 40 minutes. No, this one, altogether, this was about, 2 minutes. So you apply a layer of wax, water again, and shoe polish. Repeat the process. Wax, water, brush, polish, wax, water, brush, polish, and so on. And I repeated that 5 times. As you can see now, I got a bigger fabric cloth, and I was applying the wax, as I mentioned, very gingerly on the shoe, you don't want to push too hard because you're gonna rip the layer that you've already done. So you just want to push it gently in there. Make sure it covers all the creases. Again, a dab of water, and off you go with your soft, gentle brushing. Now, as I mentioned, I've repeated the process 5 times, and after my shoelaces were cleaned, I've just dried them quickly, and I put them back in the shoe, making a nice knot here, as you can see. Tying the knot. Now, this is a leather silk shiner that is used on leather things, but I find it holds beautifully on this foam plastic surface, and it gives it a very beautiful sheen. But you have to be careful because it's quite slippery, so this is why I was trying to wipe it immediately, because I don't want to have an accident slipping all over the place. But it does work wonders, and you can see the result immediately. It gives us that beautiful shine, and I don't use it on the leather itself. I use it just on the sole of the shoe, just to give it that extra special feel. And here we go, that was the end. Let's have a look now at the result.